Join me today on Farm to Fork as we make stuffed cabbage. Join me today on Farm to Fork. Welcome to our series, Farm to Fork. I'm Chef Connie Powers, and you're watching Rogers TV. Today we're taking you to Norland, Ontario, on Highway 35. There's a restaurant called the Sub and Sandwich Factory. Now that name sounds like it's limited, but their menu is vast. They have full breakfast, they have full lunch, they have a variety of things for entrees. We're going to be meeting Natalie Gauthier and John Stasso, the cooks, the owners, the do-everythings there. Now, when I was there, I had a Philly cheesesteak, and it was amazing. I could have made that today, but I've decided to step away from their menu and make something that shows how eclectic their menu is. We are going to be making a nice cabbage roll, a stuffed cabbage. Let's get started. First of all, we're going to be starting with the filling. Now, I like to use a combination of ground pork and ground beef. You can use any combination. Some people even use a sausage meat. I find that a little bit overpowering. So I'm going to be using, this is about a kilo of ground pork, and this is about 500 grams of ground beef. Now there's a choice you can make. You can cook the filling or you can stuff the cabbage with raw meat. I choose to cook the filling, and the reason I do that is because I removed this from the freezer and I thawed it. If I now make it raw, stuff the cabbage, and I have a lot of them, I can't put them back into the freezer because you can't refreeze raw meat. So if you cook it, that's one way of being able to freeze the excess that you have for another day. If you've purchased it fresh from the farmer or the grocery store, then you have the choice of freezing it raw or cooked. So let's get started with that. I like to start off with a little bit of bacon drippings. That's the Eastern European in me. That gives you that flavor. You could also just put in a couple slices of bacon. I think I'll switch to a wooden spoon. All right, I'm just getting the base. The day we went out to the Sub and Sandwich Factory in Norland, it was a blue sky, snow on the ground, below zero day, beautiful winter day. The place was warm. There were a lot of people in there enjoying breakfast. They gave us the tour. We were amazed at the variety of things on their menu. John and Natalie started off with a food truck, and that's where they went with that. They wanted to hone their culinary skills. That was really successful. I think they still use the food truck for mobile events, but then they took the plunge and got a brick and mortar restaurant, and it's paid off. Now we're also going to be adding a rice. So I've got the rice cooking. We're going to put the rice in cooked. And that's what gives us that binding. I don't put egg. I find that makes my filling a little bit dry and a little bit coarse. Don't be afraid of onions. There's the flavor. I have 3 peppers, whatever. It just adds flavor. And I have about 3 sun-dried tomatoes. I like to add that in. It gives it a little bit of depth. All right, I am going to mix this. Now let's look and see what I have here. Between the orange and the green, I've also got some color. What I smell is the peppers. So let's give this a little bit of a mix. So I can smell the 2 different types of meat, but I can also smell a little bit of the bacon drippings in there. We're going to add some salt and pepper. Remember, this is that mix I talk about every single one of these episodes. I've got garlic powder, table salt, and black pepper. This time I added a little bit of parsley, ground parsley dried. I've also got some dried thyme. Don't put the stems. Okay, we're going to get this browned. We've added our salt and pepper. We've added some thyme. We're going to add the aromatics. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. And we're back. I'm Chef Connie Powers, and you're watching Rogers TV. Today we're taking you to the Sub and Sandwich Factory on Highway 35 in Norland, Ontario. They have a vast menu. We decided to cook something today that was not on their menu. It just shows the eclectic nature of what they serve there. It's not just sandwiches and subs. We are making cabbage rolls, or a stuffed cabbage. So before the break, we decided to make the filling. I'm smelling it. I'm not tasting it because there could be still some uncooked meat in it, but I'm smelling, and use your nose. Your nose knows when you're cooking. I'm going to add in a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. I just call it W sauce. We're going to add some of that, and then we're going to add in some basmati rice. It's pre-cooked. I still see there's a little bit of meat uncooked. So how much rice? Well, the rice depends on, the rice depends on how much meat you have. This is 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of liquid. You could use broth for your liquid to make it more flavorful. Today I just used water and I steamed that. I like it. The pros of using a cooked filling. The pros are a little bit more flavor. You can get more flavor out of your meat doing it this way. You can also have a shorter cooking time. So if you're thinking of putting these in the fridge, or you're putting them in the freezer and you want to remove them for a weeknight supper, if it's already cooked, it takes less time. We're going to shut that down. Now, before we stuff the cabbage, we need to let the filling cool. I'm going to fold in the cheddar cheese. We're going to stuff the cabbage when we come back. We're going to take you on the tour. Take a look at this. Welcome to our series, Farm to Fork. Today we find ourselves in Norland, Ontario on a beautiful, cold, sunny day. We're on Highway 35 in Norland, and we're at the Sub and Sandwich Factory. It is it's not just a sub place. It is a full restaurant. We're going to be meeting owners and operators, Natalie Gauthier and John Stasso. Let's go look and see what's going on in this busy kitchen. Hi, John. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So we're looking at this, and Natalie's in there just hustling and bustling, so we thought we would start with you. Tell us your story. What brings you to this place?
Well, she talked me into a lot of these crazy ideas.
Yes, that happens often.
I did a lot of engineering in school, okay? I pretty much right out of high school, I had a full-time job.
Okay.
I kind of got sick of the general labor monotony sort of thing, and I went off and did different things, and when I met Natalie, she had the idea to buy a food truck.
So but food industry is so different from what you were doing. What brings you into food industry?
I always loved cooking.
Okay.
I always did love cooking. I had a chance to learn from some chef friends and see what it was about, and I still chose engineering, but everyone said you should be a chef. So meeting Natalie, she brought it all back, sort of thing for me, got me into it.
And did you switch gears to do any culinary training, or just you have a natural ability to cook?
I just went with it. I always loved cooking, so I decided this is what I'm going to do.
Okay, and then you were telling me about being in an industry that was different than this kind of food industry. Yeah. So tell us about that.
So I mass-produce food. I worked for a company that we mass-produced frozen vegetables, canned vegetables. Okay, and so I was in the industry in a different aspect, I suppose, mass-producing it.
And then you decided to A food truck, was that how it started?
That's how it started. She wanted to get a food truck, and I said, that sounds fun.
Yeah, that is
it's
fun.
our own business. Let's go places, let's do things, and it led up to this.
So this is fairly new, though. The restaurant's fairly new.
Yes.
So the food truck, was it in Norland as well? Or?
No, the food truck goes all around Ontario.
Oh, I see. So it was mobile. It wasn't a stationary food truck.
Yeah, people know us from different big events that we do.
Great.
Yeah.
We'll let you get back to work,
All
and
right.
we'll meet up with Natalie.
Okay.
All right, tables are served, and we now get the chef a little bit of a break. Natalie, thanks for having us here. It's a great restaurant, but it's fairly new, isn't it?
The restaurant itself is new, but it has a bit of a background and a story because it started out as a food truck. We actually purchased the food truck 3 years ago from a previous owner who built it with his wife and over a 10-year period. So it's actually going into its 14th season this year.
Wow.
It travels all over Ontario. It goes to different fairs and tractor pulls, music festivals, especially country music festivals. We seem to go really well with that type of crowd.
But now that
really
food truck is still in business.
Yes, it is, absolutely.
What name would we see on that food truck?
You're going to see Sub and Sandwich Factory as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you're so much more than sub and sandwich. I can see your menu. I can see what's going on in your kitchen. You're so much more.
Well, it's finally my own big kitchen where I get to cook everything that I love aside from just sandwiches. I grew up in a family surrounded by food. Food was something that you gathered around all the time, that you celebrated. Whether it was sad, it was happy, it was graduation from school, it was having a baby, it was always celebration. You celebrate with food. And so I grew up in these families where I was always taught to always home-cooked food all the time.
Yeah, nurturing with food.
Pardon?
Nurturing with food.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I find that you have to cook with love, cook from the heart. And I find that comes out through your baking, your cooking, everything that you do.
And so where did this come from? Grandma, mom, where are the generations that this love of food came from?
Just spending a lot of time with my mom and my grandmother. My mom didn't work till I was older, so she was home a lot. She cooked and baked a lot. She was a stay-at-home mom. My grandmother, I spent my summers with her, and she had a very big family. She had a lot of grandkids, and she used to make cakes for absolutely everybody. Anytime somebody got married in the family, and she comes from a family of 16 kids, so that's just something they did. They all cooked together.
So I'm looking around, and you've got so many different stations going on. This is fairly new.
Yes.
So you are still in the operating and figuring it out kind of mode.
Absolutely. We're still going through the growing pains of figuring out what system's going to work for us in here, because we're used to working in this space outside. Whereas now we're dealing with 4 times the space. Our menu's a little bit larger. We did bring in our menu in from the food truck. We've just added to it.
Added, sure.
We also listen to a lot of the locals too. We listen to what kind of foods that they want, what kind of foods that they enjoy eating, the things that used to be around in the area that they miss, and we try to add a lot of that as well and provide that for them.
And you've taken a risk of opening fully up in the wintertime, so you're going to be getting the growing pains, and then summer you're going to be full force.
And that was part of the plan as well, because we wanted to do a so-called soft open.
Yes.
So that we could get used to our environment, get used to our menu, get used to, and then give it time to grow slowly as we also add staff, see where our need of staff is, how many people we're going to need. It's figuring things out, because one system doesn't necessarily work on the inside.
I noticed you've got a coffee and bakery station that it's starting to build. I can see that. And so you're selling muffins.
We have bagels, we have muffins, we have all different types of breads that our bakery makes for us.
Oh.
No, we have a bakery that makes our breads for us that they've been working with the food truck for many, many years.
Okay.
And they actually have a special recipe for us for our Philly cheesesteak buns that we use as well. They call it the Sub Factory recipe.
Is that right?
Yes.
We're going to be looking at that Philly cheesesteak. That looks amazing.
We do. We actually go to Boots and Hearts. That's one of the bigger ones that we do there, and we run 24 hours when we're there.
Really?
Yeah, because we are in the campground, and it's actually, it's kind of neat. It's one of those things I don't want to part with because we're one of the original vendors left. There's only two original vendors of when that festival started, and we're one of them.
So I
have a bit of a soft spot for
bet
it.
you do, yeah.
I bet it's my first time. I'm sure they're wonderful. You have fantastic reviews on Facebook.
Thank you.
Anybody that has been here always says
Good thing.
Well, you see all our foods that we're doing, like right now it's my birthday month, so I'm having fun with it, and every week we're doing something different.
I see you've got a buffet.
yeah.
You've got a buffet set up.
Yeah, and on Sundays we do breakfast brunch buffet, so from 10 to 2. And yeah, it's been going really, really well. But every week this weekend we're doing manicottis the way my mom used to make them when I was growing up.
Oh.
But they're with meat and spinach, so they're not the original, like the typical cheese-filled ones that you see most of the time. Yeah, with rosé sauce and mozzarella cheese on it, melted. And we're doing burgers because we've had so much request from customers.
This place is really starting to get busy. It's a Tuesday, lunch is happening, the door isn't stopping. We're just going to say thanks for having us. We're going to order a sandwich because the smell's divine. Thanks for having us here.
Thank you so much for coming.
We are going to be back. You need to find this place. It's in Norland on Highway 35. Here's the address. Find this place and enjoy some delicious breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we're back. I hope you enjoyed that. We are now with some cooled filling, and we were about to start stuffing the cabbage. So I brought it over here. I still have the cabbage in the steaming water over there, but I think I have enough for the amount of filling. It is cool, but not really cold. I don't want it to get stiff. So I am going to add in the cheddar cheese. Now, this is something you can leave out. I'm doing it for a little bit of the savoriness of it. I'm just going to stir that in. I'm going to put in about 3/4 cup of this mixture. Just do it of tomato juice. Just do it until you see it starting to become a little bit coated and throughout the whole thing. I think that's perfect for the amount I had, a 3/4 cup of tomato juice. Just gave it a nice stickiness that will give us flavor and give us a little bit of binding. All right, so let's start actually stuffing them. So I have a casserole dish here, a cast iron dish. What I like to do is, if there was a leaf at the bottom that may have been torn or it may have looked coarse, it wasn't the primo one, I like to add it to the bottom. So let's put that here so you can see it. And then I'm going to take some processed tomatoes. It's a passata. It's my own, but you can buy some stewed tomatoes as well. And I'm just going to pour it. I'm going to add some to the bottom. That gives us a nice bed for the cabbage rolls to start cooking and steaming in. So put that aside. We take a cabbage leaf. This is one of the smaller ones. I'm going to have to move this. I don't like the way I'm doing it. All right, and we just add the cabbage. We just add the filling. And place it, bed it down into the bottom. Let's find one of the bigger leaves. So these are just boiled a bit, just steamed more or less, so that they're pliable like this. They're not fully cooked. I want that sweetness to come out, that caramelizing to come out when they're cooking with the meat. So I'm putting a fair amount, maybe about 1/4 cup. I like to keep them small because I don't serve these as an entree. I serve these as a side. These might be a lunch. I'm going to go see if there's any more cabbage that is salvageable from the head. This is a really good winter cabbage. Any left, and I've got enough leaves, I can make this into some roast cabbage. It's good, and I can either slice it up and put it into a soup. I do think I have enough to do what I want to do today. I'll do a few more, and then we're going to put these in the oven because they still have to cook. Okay, we're wrapping it up. You can see that I have a little bit of filling left over. This can be put into a pepper, and you can stuff the pepper. Do not think that this is a waste. You can even freeze this, and next time you want to make your cabbage rolls, you can get a head of cabbage, and you don't have to do all the work of the filling. It's hard to judge, and I could make more. I just don't want that many all at once. All right, so I'm going to finish this here like this, and then you're going to pour some passata, some stewed tomatoes. Do have some extra cabbage. Tuck it around. You could freeze it. Not in this cast iron, I don't think. You could freeze this in a plastic storage container, or you can just cook it. Today I'm going to cook it. This is going to be a nice warm dinner for us in this wintry day. And let me talk about that it is winter, and it's February, and we may be starting to think about, I can't take any more winter. That's when you need to find something to do. You know, find something in your local community that is going to keep you happy, maybe well fed. In Bob Cajun, we've just started a series of cooking workshops. It's something that we're joining together. We're talking about food, and we're staying warm. Look for something like that. All right, this is going to go into an oven about 325 until they're cooked, which is probably about 35 to 40 minutes, because remember, the meat is cooked already. Thanks for showing up today. In the meantime, stay warm, keep cooking.